Before I start with this particular show, I just would like to say first and foremost, I am so delighted to be with you guys this evening. And so now I would like to say welcome to the show. I'm your host, Ryal Thomas. The topic of the show this evening is titled, Taking a Closer Look at Race. Before we jump into this, I want to illustrate something to you all, and this will relate to the show, as you will see in the very, very near future. So let me jump up and show you something that I definitely want to show you guys. This right here is a piece of paper. The objective is to hit the wall. Now, as you can see, the paper didn't reach the wall. And the reason the paper didn't hit the wall is because I didn't put enough force behind it. I didn't do what is needed to do in order to hit the wall. And a lot of times, when it comes to us achieving things, we do not put enough force, enough drive to accomplish what we need to accomplish. You need to put force behind everything that you do. And in some cases, not all cases, some of us may use our race as the reason for us not accomplishing the things that we feel that we need to accomplish. But in a lot of cases, it's just that we're not determined enough. We're not putting enough energy behind it. We're not putting enough force behind it. Just like throwing this piece of paper. In order for me to hit that wall, I need to put some force behind it. And when it comes to you achieving things, when it comes to you accomplishing things, this is one of the things that need to be done in order to achieve your goals. But I'm going to get started with this. So just bear with me. I have so much I need to say. I don't know where I'm going to start with this, but I'm just going to have a seat here and I'm just going to free fall with this conversation. And first and foremost, I would like to say that everything that I'm about to say is my personal opinion. So it's not, they're not facts for you or for anyone else to take to heart. They are just personal opinions that I feel. I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist, because we know that it does. I'm not saying that discrimination doesn't exist, because we know that it does. But sometimes we look at things from a racial perspective. And that's not always the case. And I'm going to try to talk about a few examples so maybe you will understand where I'm coming from. Let's start off with number one. Let's say that there is a particular group of people, or let's just go back. I'm sorry. Let's say there's a couple waiting to be seated at a restaurant. And this couple happened to be of a certain race. And they have been waiting there for maybe 15, 20 minutes. Now here comes someone, but I should say a group of people of the opposite race. The hostess seat them immediately. They tell them, come on in. Now, you may look at that as a form of racism or a form of discrimination. That's not necessarily true, where that you may happen to be a couple, and this party may happen to be a party of 5. They may have a table ready for 5, but not a table ready for 2. So these are the things that we must consider when we're screaming racism. And like I said, these are just my personal opinions this evening. But I want to make something clear, because racism right now at the present time has become somewhat of a commodity. People are writing books behind it, which is okay. People are starting to air movies behind it, which is okay. But they're using racism as a driving force for their accomplishments, what they are trying to accomplish. And in some cases, that may not be, in my opinion, the best avenue to take. because we all need to work together. We all need to come together as one, trying to resolve some issues that's pertaining to race. No one, I would like to say at this particular time, can accomplish things alone, all by themselves. It takes an effort of all people, from all people, to try to solve a problem. If you are pro-black, that's fine. If you're pro-white, that's fine. If you're pro any race, that's fine. But you must understand the importance of unity. How can you have a certain group of people studying one area and another group over here studying in that area and thinking that without coming together that we're going to solve something? Yeah, we may solve it, but it may take a little bit longer. It may be some extra efforts need to be made because of the separation of the races. Because if this group over here discovers something that may can help, and this group over here discovers something that may can help, and this group wants to keep it to themselves, and this group wants to keep it to their self, what are we doing? What are we doing when it comes to strengthening people as a whole? When it comes to strengthening the community, when it comes to strengthening the country, we're dividing. And we're dividing the resources that we so need in order to come together to be strong in our movement and achieving and making things better for the future. One, regardless of their race, cannot go around with a chip on their shoulder believing that everything is decided based on their race. We cannot do that because you ostracize yourself. You push yourself in a corner where you may not even know what you're doing. When you have a chip on your shoulder, regardless of what color you are, there's always a negative edge. It's always a negative feeling that someone is doing this to you because of your race. And that may not even be the case. It may just be the way you are communicating, the way you are handling yourself, the way you are coming across to someone. You know, you may think it's together, and if you feel that's fine, then that's fine. But you have to understand, not everyone is looking at your color and making a decision based on your color. You're going to the grocery store. You just applied for a job, but you're in the grocery store just carrying on, making a lot of noise and maybe being a little disrespectful. You don't even know who the people are that's beside you. You don't know who the people are behind you. And here you're making a scene. Or you may be treating your child in a very disrespectful way. Now this interview comes up. This person looks familiar to you. You cannot put it together, but now you're being interviewed by this individual who actually was watching you in the store. Now you've already put something in their mind to the point where you may not be a good fit for this particular job. And it may not be based on your race, but you may leave the job saying to yourself, well, I didn't get the job because I was a certain color. You may say that to justify why you didn't receive the job. And when you're constantly using your race as an excuse for things that are not going your way, what does that actually say? That you do not have the will? That you do not have the dedication? You know, What are you saying? What type of chance, what type of opportunity are you giving yourself when it always comes down to my color? They treated me this way because I'm because I'm this color. They treated me that way because this is what happened. No, 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 no. Not saying that that's not the case in some cases. But you cannot always jump to the thought of that you're being treated a certain way because of your race. Now, I'm going to go a little bit deeper with this because I don't actually understand what's going on in the minds of individuals who are constantly making excuses. And I do not want to use the word failures. If you have dreams and you have desires, your race should not even be in question. Your dreams and your desires are yours and yours alone. When you have the will to move on in life, to get things going for your life and for your family, that should be the driving force. We're supposed to be living in a civilized society where we can communicate with one another, where we can talk to one another in a very respectful way. This screaming, this hollering, this I know more than you, and I don't want to hear what you have to say, and you're wrong because of this, and you don't understand. Well, talk to me and make me understand. Teach me. Why have we focused so much on grabbing the attention of negative conversation, of negative actions, because we may be receiving applause, someone clapping, because we may have said something that they agree with, but what we are agreeing to is something to do with what may have happened 200 years ago? Listen, our forefathers have done a lot for where we are today. Different races, all different races have contributed to doing something to get us to the point. Now, a lot of it has been negative. A lot of it has been positive. But for us who happen to be in a certain category, we cannot constantly continue on saying that we cannot achieve something because of our race. Let's just get over it. No one is going to give us 40 acres and a mule. That's just not going to happen. By the time you finish criticizing and showing hate towards someone because of what their forefathers may have done, you can take that same energy and uplift yourself as an individual. And if you as an individual uplift yourself and this individual over there uplift their self, as a group, we move forward. As a group, we move forward. There's no movement when there's constant conflict because we're too busy trying to talk about what's right, trying to talk about what's wrong. And by the time we take all of that energy and get confused because people are not seeing things our way, what have we done? You know, when this life is over, and I say this to everyone, when this life is over, you're all in that casket by yourself. No one is going to jump in there. No one is going to jump. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care what color you are. No one is going to say, slide over. That's just not going to happen. So you might as well focus on what you want to do in life. What makes you as an individual happy? By focusing again on all of this negative stuff, or look what this person did to this person, look what this person did to that person. Oh, yes. Hey, I'm sorry that these things happen. And they happen more often than they should. I understand all of that. But when you're looking at what you need to do as an individual to bring about change in your life, to bring about change in your family life, you can't get caught up in everything what's going on out there. You just can't. You have enough things on your plate. You're trying to take care of your kids. You may have family members that are sick. You may have your job that's very demanding. You may not even have a job. You know, your whole thing may be where that you're looking for havoc. You're looking to find fault because you don't have nothing to do with your life. So sometimes we need to put a lot of stuff on us to get a lot of stuff off of us. I can go into a deeper conversation that I feel in regards to what we can do to bring about change. And I'll just hit on this a little bit. First and foremost, you need to get rid of some of those negative friends. If you're having individuals that's sitting around talking about negative things and talking about people all the time, and this individual is doing this and this individual didn't do that, take a look at what they're actually doing. When you have people around you with that negative spirit, that spirit can jump on you. And especially if you're going through hard times. If you're going through hard times where things are not happening in your life the way that you feel that they should be happening, and here you have someone coming around you encouraging this feeling by talking to you in a negative manner and saying things as if it's true, because they may not be so happy with their life. So you need to focus, should focus on the people that we communicate with, the people that we associate with, the people that we work with. Because we cannot nurture our spirit and nurture our soul by constantly putting up and listening to hate. Nothing will grow but hate. It's no way any type of love, any type of positive actions, any type of positive words can come out of a spirit that's filled with anger and filled with hate. It bothers me. And like I said, I am not saying that racism doesn't exist. But we cannot constantly use our race, regardless whether you black, white, Puerto Rican, Mexican, whatever, I don't care. You cannot just constantly go into a situation and say that this didn't happen because of my color. There are other factors that may play a part because something didn't come your way. You may go bid on a job. You may not be knowledgeable about what you're talking about. A client or customer may get turned off because they may ask you a certain question that you're not prepared for. But you leave automatically justifying the way that you have been treated based on your race. So you're using your race as an excuse for you not knowing what to say or knowing what to do. There are certain programs and organizations and meetings and buildings, right here in Charlottesville, that a lot of things may be said. And you look at this And you wonder why. Why is it so much confusion? Why is it so much screaming, hollering? This is supposed to be a civilized society. We all stay and live up under this umbrella, the umbrella of Charlottesville. There are some acts that are wrong, but there are also some acts that are right. But we cannot change things by screaming and hollering at one another and think positive change is going to come. Because once you get in a position where you feel that you can make a difference, sometimes it's not as easy as you think. There are certain protocols that have to be met before this can be done or before that can be done. You can just not wave the hand of anger and hear the voice of hate and think people are going to jump. You catch more bees with honey than you do anything. So I'm saying that without unity, without people showing love to one another, all we do is delay. We delay the accomplishments of ourselves. We delay the accomplishments of the city. We delay the accomplishments of life. Because in some strange way, this wave of disagreement, this wave of hate appears to be the end thing. For lack of another word, it appears to be what we need to do to express ourselves. And I don't understand. It looks as if this has just happened overnight, or maybe it was always here, and maybe it has come to the surface because of certain situations and certain things that have happened to us as individuals, or certain things that may have happened in a city. But my message tonight is that race sometimes is not the problem. And I know that it can be the problem in some cases. But it's just like me trying to hit that wall with that piece of paper. You're not putting enough energy behind what you're trying to accomplish. And if you don't have the energy to work and run this race, to walk this journey called life, maybe you need to step back and start over. Because you cannot give up on yourself. You cannot give up on your dreams. You cannot let race be a factor for why you do not accomplish the things that you need to accomplish. Can you imagine telling a child or preaching or teaching to a child that he or she may not be accepted because of their color? You may be stopping the individual who's going to cure cancer. You may be making this person feel that it's no need me doing so much because I'm only going to get but so far. That's wrong. How can you rob a child of their dreams because of their race? How can you tell a child that those people over there are no good, and you got to watch out for these people over here because all of them lie, and you got to watch out for these people right here because all of them steal? You got to be careful. How do you preach such negative things into the mind of a child, excuse me, and expect for that child to grow up wanting to love? You're putting fear, doubt into this child. And this is the next generation that will be taking care of us. How do you give your child a car that you know is no good? It needs a tune-up. It needs tires on it. It needs brakes on it. But yet you still give it to the child knowing that they're going to wreck. So why would you give a child this type of information and expect for this child to grow up and be a contributing factor to society? Because one day that child may have to take care of you. And you must understand that the only way that we can get ahead as a group of people is unity. Everybody pitching in. Everyone saying that, hey, I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to be the best that I can be. In some cases, we have people, we have teachers, they don't even know how to go to the blackboard, because if they say, John, can you come up here to the blackboard? Oh my God, I said the word black. You cannot have people being reluctant to say something that's going to be educational to a child. But because of all what's going on in society today, we're creating fear among all of us. And we all are losing based on that. The only thing that conquers fear and conquers hate is love. So I'd just like to leave you with something. It's not always about your race. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the Ryal Thomas Show. Thank you very much.